What's up, everybody? First off, Happy New Year. This is going to be a very quick video, hopefully. This is going to be my worst books of 2025. I didn't do any 3-star books or anything above that, any 2 or 1s. In fact, I don't think I have any 1-star books in this little selection, so that's good. I have a total of 9 books that I thought was the worst books that I've read this year, and I think it'll be pretty fun to actually show off because there's some books in here that you probably like, and if so, sound off in the comments. Let me know how wrong I am. It's fine. Because there is 1 or 2 books in here that I kind of feel bad for being like, oh, they're really terrible. But yeah, hopefully, God willing, today I'll be able to do my best books of the year. And with that video, I'm gonna just do the 5-star books because I know last year, or the year before that maybe, I did the best books, and I ended up forgetting one of the 5-star books that I read. So yeah, without further ado, I have them in order. I do have a little notebook here that I took notes on because some of these I just didn't remember. In fact, there's one that I had to use a specific blog to figure out what really went on in that book. And yeah, I'll shout it out as soon as I get to that book. But yeah, let's start off with a Fear Street book. This is The Stepsister. Now, one of the biggest reasons why I gave this book a 2 stars is there's a certain aspect of this book that I really liked, and Stein twists it around and it just contradicts everything that had going for it, in my opinion. There is a scene with a dog in here that I don't remember. I have no idea what happens, but I'm very vague in my review. I didn't really want to spoil anything. Basically, this family, this mom and dad marry each other, and there's 2 sets of kids. And this one girl thinks that there is the stepsister is after her. She starts finding stuff in her hair products. They have like a whipped cream fight, and when she puts it, she gets it in her hair. It changes the color. She gets shoved at a concert, and then the dog thing. Like I said, there's a certain aspect of this book that I really did like, and like I said, R.L. Stine kind of twists that around and turns it into something that just kind of fell flat for me. But yeah, there are some people that commented on this and said this is one of their favorite books. I'm actually reading part 2 of this right now, and I think that I actually like it better. I don't know if it's just because I haven't read a Fear Street book in a long time, and that being an original Fear Street, and it just felt really good. But yeah, hopefully a review will come for that too, God willing. But yeah, this is my first worst book of 2025. Next up, I have a Give Yourself Goosebumps book, and it's been a while since I've actually had one of these worst ones on here. I think last year I did have a worse one. But yeah, this is Return to the Carnival of Horrors. So the first book in this, I guess, mini-series of Give Yourself Goosebumps books is Escape from the Carnival of Horrors. I didn't like it either. I somewhat liked it, I guess. I gave it like a 3 stars, but this one was worse in my opinion. This one just random. There's octopus wrestling and evil hot dogs. I don't even know. This book was terrible. I had to go and look at another thing was the navigation on these, and if they're really hard to follow, I really don't love them because these books are, after all, for kids, and I don't know. I just get so offended if they're kind of hard to follow. And this one, I had to look up the Goosebumps wiki to figure out which way to go, and yeah, just to get all the endings. There is a decapitated head scene in here that's pretty good though, so that's a plus. But yeah, this is one of my least favorites. And these are not in any order. These are just the order that I've read them in, but backwards because I went through my Goodreads and I just went through all the ones I did 2 stars and pulled them out. Next up is the most expensive book in my collection. Well, it was. I have another book that's more expensive. It's not going to be on this video. Hopefully it'll be in the best video. But yeah, this is Wear and Scare. Nothing happens in this book all the way up till the end. The ending's really fun. These kids get turned into their costumes, and this evil guy that gives these kids these costumes is pretty interesting. But before that, this is just these kids building up a haunted house and going step-by-step detail on how to make fake blood and different things like that. Nothing happens. And Spine Tinglers, you're probably going to see, yeah, you're actually going to see a few of these on this list. Spine Tinglers has not been my friend this year. But yeah, Wear and Scare, one of my most expensive books that I bought in recent memory. This one was not a good one, in my opinion. Again, 2 stars, nothing crazy. The next book I had to look up a review for because I didn't remember anything from this book, but I do remember one thing. This is Goosebumps House of Shivers. Say my name, say my name. So, one of the biggest things that I remember from this book was there's a chapter in here, and this is going to sound really terrible, but it's an error chapter, and it says basically, error, this chapter doesn't exist or something. It's something weird like that, and it's very short. And I remember when I read that book, I was like, okay, well that's good because this book's, that was just a quick page. And I was so happy that I read that page because I was like, I was so ready to be done with this thing. That's not a good sign. This is not a very good book. There's these kids that go fishing. They pull out a fish. It says, say my name, say my name. They go do something. These pig monster hog things come out. And these kids start turning into pigs. Yeah, there's not much to say. There's this random scene with this old lady that has these kids end up going into her house looking for like shelter to change clothes, I think. And she says her son is a cage fighter and he chases after them. This is bad. I think is this the newest one? No. The Sleepover was the newest one, I think. And I liked it, but I do want to shout out really quick. The other House of Shivers book, the Goblin Monday one, I think is my favorite so far. But yeah. This one is this one's bad. Yeah, just one of my least favorites. Alright, we got another Spine Tinglers book here. This is My Dentist is a Vampire. I knew exactly what this book was as soon as I got to chapter 1, when the guy gets strapped to a chair. It might not be in chapter 1, but very early on, he gets strapped to a chair. This thing gets put over his mask, his face, and he gets put to sleep. And then he like wakes up, and he's not put to sleep. And yeah. I knew what this was immediately. I knew what was going to happen. You could probably guess just by my vague description of this. I do like the death traps scenes in here. There's a scene where this guy is in his chair and it shoots way up into the air and there's these spikes coming down. Thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, My Dentist is a Vampire, really not a great book. Alright, as I said earlier, I had to use a blog to remember what happened in this book. This is Camp Fear from the Shiver series. I had to look this thing up because I didn't remember really a single thing that happened. I still don't remember much about it. I remember at the end, I think there's some cool stuff that happens, but throughout most of the book it's just filler. These mean girls go to camp and pull pranks on each other or something. And yeah, they end up finding this treasure. Shout out to Gnarly Book Reviews because I didn't remember a single thing. I had to look that book review up. And yeah, that helped me out a lot because, again, this was not a very memorable book. This is one of my least favorites. I've noticed that in the Shiver series, it's the opposite of Goosebumps. The weaker books are camp books, and in the Goosebumps series, I feel like the camp books are stronger. But yeah, this was very weak, very bad, terrible. Yeah, don't waste your time. I did pay a good bit of money for this one. I think I paid like $40 for it on Thrift Books. I just needed it. Was like the last one I needed for my collection, so I bought it. The next one could be controversial because I've actually seen some people say that this book was good. My opinion is not. This is Blood Red 8 Ball from the Spine Tingler series. This kid gets this virtual reality game. It takes him onto a pool table and his eye chases him. He falls into different holes in the pocket and it takes him to different realities. I think they could have done more with that. There's a scene where he lands in a bowl of mashed potatoes. Whatever. And that's all I remember. This was bad. I didn't like it. I feel like it was just kind of there. Nothing much to say about it. Kind of feels like right at home with the other Spine Tinglers books. But yeah, this was not one of my favorites. The next book is Spring Break in the Fear Street Senior series. Another series that I have probably only liked about 3 or 4 books in the series. These kids go to Arizona. They go to the airport. And one of the kids gets their bag swapped with this mean guy named Clay, I think. And he chases after them. And there's this ghost story. There's a death scene in here that is very vague. It's like the person writing these didn't really know what they had going. I felt like they could have went a little bit further. And they didn't. Spring Break was not good. But I will say a shout out really quick to this book because this is the first book I reviewed that I showed my face on YouTube. So I'll always remember that. And thanks to my fiance for that. She's the one that made me do it. And last but not least, this is the 9th book. This is one of my least favorites. Again, not in order. Little Pet Shop of Horrors. this girl gets turned into a dog by this mysterious pet owner, and he's very mean to dogs for no reason, and I just didn't like it. I thought it was stupid, thought it was boring. Um, yeah, I just didn't love it. There was really nothing to like. It was weird. There's scenes where this guy like adopts this dog and he carries him home. I know he doesn't know that this is the girl, but it's weird because it is, and he like feeds her and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It gave me some weird vibes, but yeah. This was not one of my favorites. Yeah, that's it. So that's it for me. That's all. That's my least favorite books of the year. If I had to say what my least favorite book out of all of these would be, it would honestly probably be My Dentist as a Vampire, because I knew exactly what this book was immediately when it started, and it just kept going. And yeah, but again, you could kind of interchange any of these. But yeah, I think that's it for me, guys. Please let me know in the comments below, how wrong am I about these books? What are your favorites? I know there's some people that love the Stepsister book, and I think Blood Red 8 Ball's got some lovers out there too. But yeah, for me, that's it. I am going to be working on my not top 5, but top books of 2025 as well. So stay tuned for that. I do have a little bit of another thing that I want to say. And yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.